of discomfort as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort is entirely up to you. If you want to stop and have a little rest, stop and stretch. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. Usual props, I'm going to make sure that I've got a band or a strap to assist me a little bit with the legs, and then the ball or a cushion to do a little, to work as a little bit of a resistance, a feedback. Then when you're ready, whether you're seated or lying down, see if you can find a comfortable position. So if I'm lying down, I'm just going to take advantage of the floor, take advantage of the mat, allow the arms to relax out, turn the palms to face up to the ceiling, feeling the front of the chest opening, the collarbones softening, the neck relaxing a little bit more. Legs can be straight or bent, whichever works better for your hips and your lower back. If I'm seated, the same as usual, see if I can sit up so that I'm not compressing, I'm not squashing the front of the body. So see if I can try and sit up a little bit taller, giving myself a space at the front to allow a nice, relaxed belly breath. So I'm going to inhale through the nose, feel the belly expanding with the inhalation, and then exhale through the mouth, allowing the belly to relax. So I'm going to keep that breath going, see if I can calm the breath, calm the body down. But then at the same time, just noticing how you feel. Is there any niggle anywhere? Do I feel straight? Do I feel leaning? Do I feel twisting? Is my head centered? Is the pressure under my seat bones or down the back of the body the same, or is it different? I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with. And then as I start feeling a little bit more relaxed, a little bit calmer with the breath, then I'm going to start focusing on the shoulders. Think of your shoulder blades like two little cards that are going up and down the back. So I'm going to shrug the shoulders up to the head. I'm going to pull them up. I can feel the shoulder blades climbing up to the head. And then I'm going to depress them, press them down. I'm going to try and make them roll down towards the middle of the back. So I'm going to pull them up towards the head, and then I'm going to press them down and away. Pull them up, and then press them down. So see if you can make those two cuts move up and down the back as much as possible. Just trying to unglue, trying to release any tension, any stiffness from the shoulder girdle. Just making sure that the movement is not causing pain. Noticing how is the glide on the right compared to the left. I might find that one shoulder moves really easy. The other one feels a bit stickier or a bit stiffer than the other. So I'm going to try and pay a little bit more attention to that side. 3, 2, 1. Then keeping the shoulders depressed, so keeping them down so the neck is long. I'm going to try and go into protraction, retraction. So this time, imagine your cards to move out and away from the center of your back, and then as close to the center of the back as possible. So I'm going to pull the shoulders forward, and then I'm going to squeeze them together at the back. I'm going to pull them forward and then squeeze them together at the back. So again, trying to create a little bit more movement at this time in a different direction, especially if you're, or whether you're seated or lying down, there's no difference. And just make sure that you're not taking the tension into the neck as you're pulling the shoulders forward. So see if you can just think of the shoulder girdle moving, but the neck and the head are staying nice and relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. Now focus on one shoulder. See if we can try and use all the possible direction together. So I'm going to start rolling the shoulder around, making the movement as big as the shoulder will allow me to. Obviously, if I'm laying down, I'm a bit restricted because the floor is underneath, but I can still move the shoulder forward, up, down, back a bit. And then there will be all sorts of scrunching noises as the shoulder goes round. As far as there is no pain with the noise, I'm going to keep the movement going nice and big. If there is pain, I'm just going to ease off on the size of the movement, but still encourage some movement. 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to relax that shoulder. I'm going to focus on the other side. So I'm going to try and roll it around as much as I can. So by now I know which one is the side that feels stiffer. So I might pay a little bit more attention to that side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, adjusting the shoulders, releasing back. It's a little bit more movement around the shoulder girdle. I'm going to try and focus on the shoulder joint this time. I'm going to start off with a straight arm raise. So I'm going to do one arm at a time. So I'm going to raise the right arm up. I'm going to take it as far back as I can if I'm lying down, as far up as I can if I'm seated. Returning the arm back, and then I'm going to move the left. Now, picture this time your shoulder joint. So where the top of the arm, where the head of the humerus inserts into the shoulder socket. See if you can work on that joint, see if I can make that joint move. So making sure that this time, especially if I'm seated, I'm not pulling my shoulder up. I'm just trying to pull my arm up, but keeping the shoulder down. Play with the position of the hand, so turning the hand in, out, up slightly. It changes the way the arm fits into the shoulder socket. So I might find that if I turn my hand a slightly different way, the movement feels easier. If there is any clicking on the shoulder, I might actually be able to get rid of that clicking. And then it doesn't matter how far the arm goes, just to see if I can keep a relaxed movement going. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, relaxing the shoulders, adjusting the arms, and then changing the direction of the movement. So this time I'm going to go for a lateral raise. So instead of bringing the arm up to the front, I'm going to swing the arm round the side towards the head and then back down. Then with the other arm, I'm going to do the same and then back. Changing the angle at the shoulder, if I feel that keeping the arm too level to the side of the body, it tends to pinch on the shoulder joint, so it feels uncomfortable. I might bring the arm slightly forward to the side of the body until I feel that I've got a smooth movement that is not upsetting the shoulder, that is not hurting the shoulder. So I might make the swing just a little bit shallower instead of trying to go for a too big swing that it might pinch, that might create pain in the shoulder joint. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. So shoulder feels a little bit warmer. I'm going to try and see if I can, same as I did for the shoulder girdle, combine the directions together. So this time, imagine to have pencils or pens instead of fingers. I'm going to try and draw circles in front of me. So I'm going to start bringing the arm up towards the head, and then I'm going to circle it around. Then I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to open it to the side and then circle back. and then I'm going to reverse that circle again. So I'm going to try and make the biggest circle possible in front of the body. So if I'm laying down, I'll be drawing a massive circle on the ceiling. If I'm sitting up, I'll be drawing a big circle on the wall in front of me. The size of the circle is only as big or small, again, as it suits the shoulder. So if I feel that with a big circle, my shoulder hurts, or my neck tends to compensate, so I'm really stiffening up and tensing, I'm going to go for a bigger, softer circle to help me relax the neck, relax the shoulder a little bit more. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulder, relaxing the arm. I'm going to try the same thing with the other side. So I'm going to go for the biggest circle possible on this side, reversing, and then reversing again, reversing, and reversing again. And then again, adjusting the size of the circle. I feel the arm is a bit heavy. So I know that if the arm feels heavy, the neck will tend to help. I don't want the neck to help, so I'm going to go for a smaller circle and then try to keep the neck relaxed instead. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms, and then still staying into the shoulder joints. I'm going to bend the elbows, and then I'm going to tuck the arms into the side of the ribcage. I'm going to squeeze them close to the side of the ribcage. I'm going to turn the palms towards the head. So if you're laying down, even if you're sitting up, imagine to be holding a book, so I'm reading a book. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to start rotating the arms out to the side, as if I was trying to take the thumbs to the wall behind, if I'm seated, or to the floor if I'm laying down. And then I'm going to rotate them back. Now, as you rotate the arm, imagine somebody grabbing hold of the top of your arms and then kind of like twisting them out as far as they'll go, and then twisting them back in again. So if you're seated, make sure that you're not swinging the arms behind you, you're keeping them to the side. If you're lying down, making sure that you're keeping the arm close to the body as you open it to the side, as the tendency is to wanting to pull it away, because that makes it easier. So I'm going to try and squeeze them in and then turn them out. Come back, squeeze them in and then turn them out, and then come back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. I'm going to take the arms out to the side. I'm going to, so if you're lying down, think of a big capital T or a cross if you prefer. I'm going to bend the elbows, and then I'm going to point my fingertips towards the ceiling. The palms are turned to face the legs. And then from there, imagine a little wind flag blowing. So I'm just going to drop my forearms down so that the palm of the hand travels towards the mat. And then I'm going to try and rotate them back so that the back of the hand travels towards the mat. So I'm going to still working on that internal external rotation, but changing the angle of the arm. If you're lying down, check that your elbow is still bent at 90 degrees. So your fingers are pointing either to the back wall or to the front wall, not to the side. So I'm not opening the arms out. If you're seated, it doesn't matter if the arm doesn't go up very high. So see if you can really try to get that rotation going in and out. So again, as if somebody was grabbing hold of your arm and trying to twist it in as much as possible and then twist it out as far as it will go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, just a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint. I'm going to try and see if I can focus on the elbow and the wrist. I'm going to try and ease off some of the stiffness from the wrist. So I'm going to bring the hands together, I'm going to interlock the fingers nice and loose, and then I'm just going to start rolling the wrists. So trying to create movement into the wrist joint, making sure that the movement is not painful. Now see if you can reverse that rolling. So see if I can go the other way, which might feel a little bit awkward. We're still trying to move the wrist as much as you can. 3, 2, 1. And then easing back to the middle, I'm going to keep my fingers locked together. I'm going to turn the palms to face away from the chest. And then taking a deep breath in, as you breathe out, if you could push and press in the palm of your hands forward. So I'm going to push them to the ceiling if I'm lying down. I'm going to push them to the front wall if I'm seated. Then I'm going to ease the pressure, come back, and then I'm going to try and push away again. So think of a nice stretch that goes from the fingers through the palm of the hand, the front of the forearm, into the arm. See if you can extend the elbows every time, but making sure that by extending the elbow, I'm not causing pain in the wrist. A little bit of discomfort because of the stretch is okay, but making sure that it's not wrist pain. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one, we're going to hold. Squeeze the elbows in as close as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the fingers, releasing the wrist, releasing the arms. And then I'm going to start focusing on the legs. So this time I'm trying to work into the hip joint. Before getting some work into the hip joint, I want to try and wake up the muscles around the hip. So I'm going to start with the ball between the knees, or the pillow between the knees. And then I'm going to start pressing into the ball. So I'm going to squeeze the ball as hard as I can, squeeze the pillow as hard as I can, and then I'm going to ease that pressure. So I'm going to squeeze and release. Imagine a balloon between the legs. Every time that you squeeze, you're trying to pop it. So I'm trying to press hard to really make it go. And then as you press, aware of the tension on the inner thigh. Notice if there is difference between the right and the left. So I feel that, I don't know, my right side is working really hard, while my left side is not working very much. If I'm seated, I can see the legs, I can see that my right side is squeezing, my left side is drifting off to the side. So see if I can focus on that left side more, or vice versa. And then same as usual, if I need a little bit of guidance, I'm going to use my hands. So I'm going to try and guide that leg in the direction I want it to go, and then I'm going to release. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, I'm going to squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the legs, releasing the inner thigh. I'm going to switch the ball to the front of the right thigh. So I'm going to press the ball between the right thigh and the right hand. And then what I want is with the hand, I'm going to push down into the ball. With the leg, I'm going to try and press up into the ball. So see if you can find the connection into the front of the right hip. So I'm going to squeeze the ball, release, squeeze the ball and release. So tensing into the hip as if I was trying to lift the right foot off the ground. And then release the tension, pressing and letting go. So see if I can feel the front of the hip twitching, see if I can feel it connecting. Noticing also a little tension coming up into the right side of the belly to help me stabilize that pressure, stabilize that little lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one, I'm going to press and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. I'm going to try the same thing to the left. So I'm going to switch the pillow of the ball between the left hand and the left thigh, and then I'm going to push with the hand and the leg into the ball. Then relax, and then I'm going to press again. So see if I can find the connection into that left hip, and then as well, see if I can be aware of the tension into the left side of the belly, helping me to stabilize the hips as the leg is trying to come up towards me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then last one, I'm going to hold the squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. From the front of the hip, we're going to move into the side of the leg. So grabbing hold of your strap or your band, I'm going to tie the band around the legs, or if you want, you can hold it. It's just easy to tie it, so I don't have to tense the arms, I don't have to hold with my arms. I'm just going to put a little bow or a little knot to keep it in place. If the band is a rubber band, so it's elastic, I can keep it quite tight. If it's a strap, keep it quite loose so that you've got a little space to actually move inside the band. And then this time, I'm going to focus on the right leg. I'm going to keep the left leg still. With the right leg, I'm going to pull out on the band. And then I'm going to control my way back. So I'm going to pull out and control back. So see if you can be aware of the tension this time. Coming down the side of the leg, the side of the hip, allowing me to open against the resistance and then close and come back. And then same as I did for the ball, when I was pressing into the ball, I might need to guide with my hand. I might need to push out the leg. I might need to pull the leg back in with the hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one, I'm going to keep pushing out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. If you didn't keep a little tap, relaxing the leg, I'm going to try the same thing, but to the left side. So the right leg holds nice and still, And then with the left leg, I'm going to pull out into the band. Control back and then out again. So feeling the side of the hip working this time to help me control that movement. Again, using the hand to guide. If I feel that this leg is a little bit temperamental, so it doesn't want to do the work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holding the leg out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the legs. I'm going to undo the band, leave the band to one side. And then this time focusing on the back of the hip, on the back of the bum. I'm going to, if seated, bring the feet just a little bit closer to the chair and then pushing down into the soles of the feet. I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum, see if I can pull the hips off the chair. And then I'm going to ease my weight back down. So I'm going to lean forward, push through the feet, and then I'm going to come back. So see if I can think of the tension coming from the back of the legs this time, the back of the hips, the back of the bum. If I'm lying down, I'm going to push up into bridge. So driving the hips up and towards the ceiling. Think of the front of the hip opening, making sure that you're not driving with the chest. So the belly is still connected, the back is still soft. And then I'm just going to ease my way down. So I'm going to squeeze the hips up, focusing on the back of the hips and focusing on the back of the bum, and then easing back down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the legs, making sure that the back of the leg doesn't feel too stiff, too tight. I feel a little bit more connection all the way around the hip. So I'm going to try and see if I can use the connection now to create a little bit more movement into the hip joint. So I'm going to, if you're lying down, might want to move the left leg just slightly out of the way if it gets in the way. So I can extend it along the floor if I want to. I'm going to lift the right thigh and then I'm going to point it to the ceiling. If I struggle to keep the leg up, I'm just going to use the band around the back of the leg to give me a little support. If I don't need the band. Imagine a pencil strap to the very top of your knee. I'm going to start drawing circles with that pencil on that ceiling in front of me. I'm going to start with small circles and then progressively see if I can make the circle bigger. But making sure that, same as I did for the shoulder early, it's not grinding on the hip, it's not creating pain or discomfort into the hip joint. The hips are not moving, so pelvis is not rocking side to side. Think of the pelvis to be like a bowl, and then your leg is the spoon. I'm trying to turn the spoon into the bowl. I don't want the bowl to start rocking all over the table. If you're seated, Exactly the same, a little bit more limited in range as I'm sitting on my seat bender, so I can't really move that much, but still encouraging that leg to go round into little circles, oval, whatever the shape is. It's just trying to get as much movement, as many direction of movement as possible into the hip joint. I'm going to reverse the circles. I'm going to go the other way for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release, relaxing the leg, allowing the arms to have a little rest. If I've been using the arms to help me move the leg, I'm just going to prepare the band on the other side if I needed the band. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing on the left side. So I'm going to start with little movements and then progressively see if I can try and go a little bit bigger, especially if I'm laying down, as I've got more space available to move. Just make sure that, again, you're holding your ball still. You're just turning the spoon into the bowl. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reversing the circle, going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. There's a little bit more movement into the hip joint as well. I'm going to just get the back going too. So shuffling the feet and the knees a little bit closer together. Whether you're lying down or seated, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to reach the arms to the front, clasping the hands together or keeping the hands apart. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I want my legs to go to the right, my arms to swing to the left. So I'm going to rotate in opposite directions. Then I'm going to come back to center, and then I'm going to go the other way. So the arms to the right, the legs to the left, come back to center, the arms to the left, the legs to the right, back to center, and then to the other side. So keeping the swing going. If you're seated, obviously the legs movement, again, will be limited as I'm sitting on my seat bench. If I'm laying down, I can roll the hips to the side as far as I feel comfortable. Just trying to picture all of the spine winding itself around from one side over to the other. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back to the middle. I'm going to reset the legs to the center. If you're lying down, I want you to roll over onto your side. I'm going to put something under my head, a cushion or a block. The ball is not ideal as with the head move. It might drop off the ball. I'm going to place the arm that is underneath I'm going to reach it under the armpit. And then the arm that is free on top, I'm going to hug it over the shoulder that is down on the mat. So I'm going to give myself a little hug. I'm going to pull the legs forward as if I was sitting on a little chair. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And then as I breathe out, keep the nice and tight hug. I want to turn the rib cage and the head towards the ceiling. Then I'm going to turn back to the front. And then I'm going to turn towards the ceiling again. So just a little rotation, but keeping the arms out of the way. If you're seated, I'm going to place my left hand under the right armpit, the right over the right shoulder, and then taking a deep breath in, I'm going to rotate to the right. Then easing back to the center, and then I'm going to repeat it again. 3, so see if I can ease some of the tension from the thoracic spine. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, I'm going to hold the twist, and then I'm going to take 6 breaths in. The first 3, I want you to breathe through the mouth. So 1, 2, 3, and then the next 3 through the nose. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to ease my way back to the middle. Release the arms. If you're lying down, rolling over onto the other side. If you're seated, I'm going to place my other hand under the armpit, cross over the chest, and then I'm going to start rotating the other way, and then coming back. If you're lying down, same as before, the bottom arm goes to hug under the armpit, the top arm goes to hug around the shoulder. I'm going to pull my legs forward in front of the hips, and then as I exhale, I'm going to turn towards the ceiling and then come back to the front. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to hold the twist. 3 breaths through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 through the nose. 1, 2, 3, and then easing back. Releasing the shoulders, relaxing the back. If you're lying down, I want you to slowly push yourself up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position. So setting the legs wherever it's easier. Crossing, opening, kneeling, taking them to the side. Whatever allows you to sit reasonably balanced and reasonably upright onto the seat bench, leaning onto sofa or wall behind if you need a little support, or just using the arms. And then from this position, we're going to try and create space at the front of the body. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to start Bring the chest forward and up. I'm going to look forward, I'm going to look up, I'm going to look back as far as I can, and then I'm going to release and come forward, letting the chin drop down to the chest, the shoulders come forward as far as I feel comfortable going, and then I'm going to uncurl back up. Bring the chest forward, lifting it up towards the ceiling, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward, round in the back, roll the way down. Last time, extending up, trying to create as much space as possible, as much lift as possible at the front of the body. And then releasing, coming back. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take